Jump scares. The jump scares in Five Nights at Freddy's are an aspect that the series has a huge name for. Besides arguably the atmosphere in some of the games, it's undeniable that's where the horror of the game you're playing comes from. A good jump scare is supposed to make you jump out of your seat when greeted by one, sometimes often leaving worthwhile memories after playing. However, there's also the bad jump scares which fail to scare the player, either because they're predictable or flat out lazy. I made a video on those last year for Spooktober. For this year's Spooktober, I'm making the opposite. The jump scares that in my opinion succeed. I present to you the top 5 best FNAF jump scares of all time. Be sure to subscribe down below and turn on a notification bell if you wish. As well, become a channel member. All totally optional, but be appreciated if you did. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. I have my own opinions on the Ruin DLC for Security Breach, I know, but here's one positive I have for it. Ruin Monty's jump scare goes hard. What I love about it is two things. I love how it mostly consists of his sharp teeth. It takes use of his rather cool design. It's cool. And the other thing is how Cassie tries to actively fight the jump scare in the jump scare animation. I don't know, but that makes this jump scare feel more real than a lot of the jump scares in the series. The past FNAF games can make you question when it comes to the jump scares that if there's some defense that could be done against them, and this jump scare shows it. However, since Cassie's both a child and sorta weak, I'd imagine she fails at defending herself from the jump scare, which implies the strength of Ruin Monty, which I fucking love. Also, the jump scare sounds pretty decent. That's all. Overall, great jump scare. Now, this isn't my favorite jump scare in FNAF 1, believe it or not. My favorite jump scare from the first game is Golden Freddy's death screen, but spoiler alert, I already have a death screen on this list, and I didn't want to put more than one on the list, just so technically actual jump scares get their time in the spotlight. So we're going with my second favorite FNAF 1 jump scare, Freddy's power outage jump scare. One thing I love about this jump scare is how the last frame of Freddy's eye creates a very interesting visual compared to the other jump scares in FNAF 1. The fact it's also quick and sudden makes the jump scare more memorable and effective. On top of that, the fact it can sort of come out of nowhere too because of the random amount of seconds it can take for the jump scare to happen after the tour, it puts you on your seat a little bit, and if a jump scare succeeds at that, then it's good in my books. Another great one that's also a pure classic. Now yes, this is technically cheating because this isn't a proper jump scare but a death screen. As well, the fact it's for two characters. First off, Nightmare Ione is basically a reskin of Nightmare in FNAF 4, so I'm grouping them together. And secondly, it gives the second job done as a jump scare, so I'm counting it. I think with this one, my favorite aspect about it is the jump scare sound. It sounds so haunting. It's very creepy. Additionally, it helps with giving the feel that this jump scare tries to pull off where it feels like you're literally staring death in the eyes. It's frightening as hell. This is one of those cases where I believe a death screen fits more than an actual jump scare with animation because of that feeling and how Nightmare and Nightmare Ione are considered as representations of death. Fantastic and memorable. The main thing I love about this jump scare, and that goes for a decent portion of the jump scares in Sister Location, is how during the jump scare animation, their faceplates open up to reveal their endoskeletons. It makes the jump scares unique compared to other jump scares in past FNAF games. However, I choose Funtime Freddy's Breaker Room jump scare specifically because depending on your skill during the section of the game, the jump scare can come out of nowhere. The jump scare sound is also fitting for the character while being effective. It's all dark in the atmosphere too, which makes the jump scare even better. Overall, I think this is a pretty chilling jump scare. FNAF 4 had its fair share of great jump scares, but overall, I think Nightmare Chica has the best jump scare in the entire game as well as the whole series. First of all, the jump scare sound that carries over from most of the other FNAF 4 jump scares is really good. It's loud enough and it's terrifying sounding. Another thing is how unpredictable it can be due to how FNAF 4's gameplay is. If you're listening at the door and you make a mistake, both Nightmare Bonnie and especially Nightmare Chica will make it very clear you made a mistake as their jump scare comes out of fucking nowhere to you. I also love how the last frame is sort of a close-up of her face. Now, what I think makes Nightmare Chica's jump scare stand out from Nightmare Bonnie's is the clear visual of Nightmare Chica's row of teeth. Perfect. In my opinion, Nightmare Chica has a fantastic jump scare in FNAF 4 that's likely able to make the player jump in their seat and remains a memorable short experience for any player.
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through. Ah, fuck! What the fuck?
And this is all why Nightmare Chica's jump scare from FNAF 4 is the best jump scare in the Five Nights at Freddy's series.